Hey everyone, Demeech here,
And tie the guy 2800.
and we just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas. I know this video is going to be uploaded after Christmas, but I hope everyone had a good Christmas this year, got everything they wanted from good old Santa Claus, and didn't have any of that hot cocoa I did. And apparently had the salty tears of the Mario Kart Tour fanbase, but I don't know, it just was really nasty.
Huh. I liked it a lot. It kind of gave an extra kick of flavor, if you know what I mean.
The same person who puts salt in their hot cocoa is the same kind of person who puts peanut butter in the freezer.
Or salsa.
So before this turns into a video about what not to put in the freezer, we're going to be talking about games, specifically Nintendo. This is going to be a combination review of 2019 along with some predictions for 2020. Now, I
Right.
looked at the views last year for just my 2018 review, and that barely got any, but the 2020 or 2019 predictions did really well. So I'm just going to combine the two here. We'll do a quick overview of 2019 and then talk about our 2020 predictions. So, do you want me to
Right.
start with the 2019 review?
Yeah, you could go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna make this to the point. 2019 for Nintendo was okay. There's a reason why it wasn't better, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But overall, I thought it was an okay year. It wasn't as bad as last year, but it was nowhere near as good as some of their years like 2017 and 2014. So I'll just
Right.
go over some of the highlights for me this year. Yoshi's Crafted World, really good 2D platformer from Good Feel. They've always been making good games ever since Wario Land Shake It. They know how to make quality 2D platformers while also having unique art styles. I know you think I'm a shill for liking it for some reason, but I'm just gonna say it. I had a lot of fun with Yoshi's Crafted World, and I still haven't 100%ed it yet. But that's definitely one of my favorites this year.
Okay. Cool. Cool. One of my favorites from this year has to be Luigi's Mansion 3. Uh, Even though I have some problems with it. It is a fantastic sequel to Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. And it has some fantastic controls and some fantastic new bosses and some interesting floors. I really loved, spoiler alert, the Alice in Wonderland floor. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3 was the highlight for me this year.
I would say so too. It's by far the best looking Nintendo game. Next Level Games did a great job combining the best aspects of Dark Moon and Luigi's Mansion 1 to make one really good Luigi's Mansion game. It's easily my favorite in the
Right.
series, and there's just so much I love about the game. It's replayable, it's fun. I really can't say enough briefly about it, but not only is it one of my favorite games of 2019, actually my favorite game of 2019, but one of my favorite of the
Hmm.
decade, so I'll talk
Same
more
here.
about that later on. I found it a lot better than
Right.
Dark Moon, and I like Dark Moon even more than the first one, so that's
Oh,
saying a
same
lot.
here. Yeah.
But then there was Mario Maker 2, which was also a highlight for me. I really enjoyed Mario Maker on the Wii U, and just to have an expanded version of that is awesome, even on the Switch. I know the touchscreen really isn't as intuitive as the gamepad was with the Wii U, but I still didn't really have a
Right.
problem with it. And I've had a lot of fun playing it. I think it's a game that I put the most hours into this year,
Mm.
but surprisingly, I haven't played as many levels as made them. Like when I played Mario Maker on the Wii U, I would always play others' levels, but this time around, I kind of like making my own more. Probably because there's more stuff to do with the more parts and themes and stuff like that. But also maybe it's
That's
because there's
true.
no 100 Mario challenge.
Yeah, that's true too. I personally don't really like Mario Maker 2 that much, but I've never been really a fan of the first Mario Maker. I just feel like they kind of lack in a lot of content that I would love to have in a Mario Maker game. They kind of hold back on it, but for those who do like it, yeah, good on them.
And you know there's going to be some free DLC updates. I already feel the game was complete at launch, but just having some extra stuff thrown in, it's really cool. And hopefully we get a new theme too. I really like the 3D world style. Unfortunately, it wasn't interchangeable, but I had a lot of fun with that. Hopefully Mario
Oh yeah,
2, maybe Mario Odyssey.
I doubt that.
But yeah, I think that covers it for Mario Maker 2. But other than those three
Uh,
games, there
yeah.
weren't really a whole lot of games from Nintendo that I bought or really got into. I mean, the 3DS, I guess this could count. I forgot that this even happened because it was so early in 2019, but the Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story remake was good, even though it was kind of
Oh
pointless
yeah.
to put it on the 3DS. I mean, it's a remake of the best game in the series.
We got the Olympic Games for Mario and Sonic. You
Yeah.
just actually reminded me of that.
I just bought
I'm
that
I'm
game
sup-
today, so I can't really comment on it because I haven't even played it, but I like
yeah, and
those
then
games. I liked
and
even
then
Rio. I
yeah.
thought that was fun, and if it's like London, I think it'll be really good, but any of those mini game compilations, they're not going to get stellar reviews either way, but it's just a
Yeah.
good time to have some good multiplayer fun. And by the way, it has Waluigi barefoot. How could you not want to get the game?
All right, weirdo.
You mind if I take my shoes off?
Well, this is a restaurant,
Okay,
so
great. Now that's
um,
canon.
yeah. I think Link's Awakening also came out this year, but my only comments on that is that it's too expensive for a short game that
Too
doesn't really
expensive for the
offer
budget.
any. It's too expensive for the budget, and the only thing they really added was kind of a dungeon maker, and it's not even a dungeon maker. It's more of like you remixing dungeons that already exist into a hodgepodge dungeon thing at the end. It's just meh. It's
Nintendo
okay.
hasn't been good with remakes recently.
No, they haven't.
Remakes and
Hopefully they
ports
get
and stuff.
better.
I mean, they
Well,
were great at it
actually,
before, but
Samus Returns was a really good remake on the 3DS.
that was. But I'm talking about when they do stuff like full price ports
Oh yeah,
and remakes
that
that have
yeah,
less content than the first one, or it's like a
yeah,
remake of a Game
that
Boy
I don't
game and then
know.
they charge full price. I mean, Samus Returns, I can see why, and that was only $40, but here,
Right.
there's just not enough content to have it be $60. And another thing
Yeah,
about
for
that,
sure.
we didn't get that many ports this year either. I think all we got was New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Was that it?
Unfortunately. Um, I think, I think. Oh no, Spyro, but that's third
Yeah,
party.
that's third party. And while we're talking about Nintendo in 2019, I might as well go over some of the third party stuff. Third party stuff wasn't as great as last year, but still pretty good regardless. We got Spyro on the Switch and we got Crash Team Racing, and those were some really good games.
Yeah, I
I would
love those
say that
games.
Crash Team Racing is one of the best racing games. I'm not sure if it's as good as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but there's a ton of content and stuff to do that it's just so much fun. And Spyro,
For me,
we don't have enough 3D platformers on the Switch, and Spyro is just really fun to play, very relaxing. I mean, it's a
yeah,
trilogy of the first three games remade, so that's pretty
right.
nice.
Yeah, I'd say so. If you spend some time playing CTR, you would come to the conclusion that it is better than Mario Kart. But I
I've spent
digress.
over 25 hours on it. Yet again, I've
Oh
put
yeah,
over 100 into
I,
Mario Kart 8.
I've spent 80 hours on CTR. So there you go.
But those were some of the
But
third party highlights for me. I'm sure there were more for others. But just to recap everything, 2019 was okay, could have been better, and I know
mhm,
exactly what happened. Animal Crossing got delayed until next year, so that's why the year wasn't as strong as it could have been. But you know
right,
what? I'm perfectly okay with Nintendo delaying Animal Crossing if it means a better product. Is it a little disappointing at first? Sure. But at the same time, sometimes you gotta delay a game to deliver the best quality game. And if you don't delay a game sometimes, you're gonna have something like what happened next with the biggest disappointment for me this year, Pokemon Sword and Shield. Look, I don't care what anyone thinks. You can call it the best Pokemon game, you can call it the worst. You're entitled to your opinion, and so am I. I didn't get the games. I know some people are going to tell me, well, you have to play the games to know if they're bad or good. But the way I see it, I already know not every Pokemon's going to be in the game. I already know the GTS isn't going to be in the game. I already know the graphical presentation isn't the strongest. I know there's a slew of problems that I can't get over, and I don't feel comfortable supporting Game Freak with that. I feel like there's been a steady decline over the years, and this just broke the camel's back.
I'm not even a Pokemon fan, and I agree with everything you said.
Yeah, you've been trying to get into Pokemon, but after seeing this, I don't recommend you get into it. I mean, it's kind of like getting
Yeah.
into F-Zero at this point. But hopefully they'll learn with the backlash and everything. They'll start making better games, they'll take their time. These yearly releases need to stop, but unfortunately it looks like Game Freak isn't slowing down anytime soon, and the sales were pretty good. But I honestly
Mhm.
do feel it's going to be strong in the beginning, but when people realize what it's actually about, the sales will just slowly decline. It's kind of like what happened with Mario Kart Tour. They were bragging about it being the highest grossing mobile game or highest downloaded, and then no one played it after that.
I wonder who predicted that.
You did. You were right. Ha ha ha. Do you want a trophy?
No, I want some hot chocolate.
Maybe you could go to the Polar Express. I don't know.
I think that kind of wraps it up for 2019, though.
Is it
I
even
think
worth
we
talking
should get
about the mobile
into
games or no?
no.
Oh,
I think my video said it all.
I'll just go over them quick. Dr. Mario World, fun little game. Haven't played it in a while, but at least it had multiplayer. Mario Kart Tour, if it launched with multiplayer, could have been so much better. But I think I've said enough about that. So, going into 2020, we don't know a whole lot about what's in store for us. We know for a fact that we're getting a port of Tokyo Mirage Sessions. We're getting Xenoblade Chronicles remastered, and we're also
Zeno
getting Animal
bread.
Crossing. Xenoblade. I just got tongue tied.
Uh,
That was all.
yeah, that's. Yeah. So we know a few games coming next year, but we barely know anything.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know if I'm a fan of Nintendo's new strategy because it makes it hard to look forward to stuff.
Yeah.
But yet again, stuff is announced months in advance, so there's or a few months in advance, so there's just a little bit of time to wait. But
Right.
either way,
So yeah.
going into 2020, it
hmm
doesn't just mark a new decade, but it also marks the 35th anniversary of everyone's favorite plumber, Luigi.
Yeah. You're Luigi too, baby.
That could have been 2018, but it didn't happen. Mwah, 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 mwah. Nope, it's gonna be the
It's
35th
yeah.
anniversary of Mario. Ever since
Yep.
2005, Nintendo's done a little something for the anniversary of Super Mario Bros., but sometimes it can be something as grand as Super Mario Maker, or something as minor as a Mario All-Stars port for the Wii.
I really hope it's not another port. Well, another Mario All Stars port. That would be disappointing.
I think
What I
Mario All-Stars
do,
is coming to the
yeah.
Switch Online service because it was in the data mine.
So then, yeah, maybe that'll coincide it with next year. But what I think will happen in terms of ports is a Super Mario 3D World port. I think that's one of the last first-party games that Nintendo hasn't put on the Switch for some reason. It's been teased with Mario Maker 2's new style. I just think it's time to bring it over to the Switch,
Or
maybe with
maybe
a
they're
couple of
working
new
on a sequel for it.
characters.
You remember the dog
Uh,
Mario thing last New Year?
I doubt it, and I would be really upset if that's what they've been working on this whole time. Uh, but yeah, I do think we're getting a port of some kind of our 3D world. Um, and then I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a Super Mario Party 2. Uh, I think that ND Cube is on the right track to finally getting Mario Party on the right track. I think what they just need to do is get some more variety in terms of themes, bigger boards, of course, and maybe bring the dices back up to 10. that's that's more of a nitpick for me, but I think Super Mario Party 2 has the potential to be great. Um,
I haven't played the
but
first one, so you know it more than me, but those are some pretty
yeah,
solid predictions right there.
there's a little bit more. This is kind of a wild card prediction. Mario Tennis Aces 2. Now I know what you're saying. Okay, let me
Don't
stop.
remind
It's
me,
not.
please. No. I don't want to think about that game anymore. We're done.
but uh, it does kind of involve that the developers, Camelot. I think we're getting a new Mario Golf. I think Mario Golf is pretty popular. I don't think it's like the most popular thing in the world, but I think it's about time we get a new Mario Golf
The
from
last one we
Camelot.
got was 6 years ago, so I would say it's time. And I really liked World Tour on the 3DS, so I'm down for another one.
Yeah, and I'll actually put something out there that I just kind of thought about. How about Paper Mario? What do you think is going to happen to that series? Do you think we'll see Paper Mario next year?
Now that's a pretty hard question to ask, because I was thinking about that. It's been 4 years since Color Splash almost, so it could happen. I think if we're gonna get a new Paper Mario, it's gonna be one done right. I don't know if
Yeah,
we're gonna get a remake or anything. There might still be some of the
right.
problems that Color Splash and Sticker Star had, but I don't think they're gonna go
Yeah.
back to that formula anytime soon. The sales of Color
Uh,
Splash really showed that.
Speaking of Paper Mario, I know we heard there was actually some news that we didn't bring up before, um, in terms of 2019 that Alpha Dream will
Went
be shut
bankrupt.
down, went bankrupt. Yeah, which is a shame
Well, that's what
because
happened when Nintendo made them do the 3DS ports.
yeah, for sure, and which was a stupid idea, but it's still a shame that the developers have to pay for it.
Yeah, it is.
Do you think that their last project will be revealed next year, or do you think that they weren't even working on a new Mario and Luigi?
That's hard to say because they did all those ports on the 3DS, so I'm not sure if we'll get a Mario and Luigi anytime soon. But if there
Yeah,
is one, I can't say for sure if it'll be revealed next year.
true.
Highly unlikely, I think. But Paper Mario, there is a slight chance.
Right. Um, I guess the last Mario game in terms of 35th anniversary is something you and I have been discussing since the first one, Super Mario Odyssey 2. Uh, Nintendo kind of teased it this year with Mario eating a watermelon and people going crazy. Eating a watermelon. Uh, and I don't know, it kind of sent people into a frenzy.
Yeah, I remember that. It's like Nintendo can't even release a render anymore without people going crazy about it. Yet again, though, Miyamoto's shirt did predict Super Mario Odyssey, so anything's
That is
possible.
true.
I could
I
definitely see
mean,
Mario Odyssey 2 coming out this year, or next year.
it's been it's
Because,
been three
yeah,
years.
it's been 3 years since Mario Odyssey. It's one of the best selling Switch games. There was no DLC for it, so automatically I think there's going to be a sequel. And they're probably just going to do something like they did with Galaxy and Galaxy 2, where they reuse the
Right.
engine and the assets from the first game and make it into a new game. And I am totally okay with that.
Right. I'm fine with that too. I guess last but not least, speaking about sequels, I'll let you talk about this one since you're more passionate about it than I am. I mean, I'm excited. I would be excited for it either way, but you're more of a, you know, you're more the Mario Kart fan.
Yeah. So, is this what I think it is?
Yeah, Mario Kart 9.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Mario Kart Tour for the Switch. No, I'm kidding. With Mario Kart 9, it's something I've always been unsure of ever since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Because it's selling so well, it's hard to say if we'll get a new Mario Kart, but I think it's only fair after almost 6 years that we do get a new one. I feel like there's enough new content in Mario Kart Tour that can't just be wasted on a mobile game. The exclusive items for characters, the kart parts, the costumes,
Mhm.
and I feel like now is the time for a new Mario Kart to be revealed. I would say it's going to be revealed next year and will probably be a summer release if we are getting it. But if we're not,
Now, yeah.
that wouldn't surprise me either.
Now, if we do get all of this stuff that we predicted for the 35th anniversary, that would be a massive year for Mario.
It would
Um,
be.
I I don't know if everything will happen. I'm kind of unsure about Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi. I'm kind of 100% Odyssey 2, Mario Golf, and Super Mario Party 2. with maybe a hint of Mario Maker 2 DLC. Uh, but as for everything else, it's 50-50 for me. I would hope everything comes next year, but that's mostly wishful thinking from a Mario fan.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I think Mario Odyssey 2 is. I'm 80% sure about that. Mario Kart
Mhm.
9, 40. I would
Yeah,
say Paper Mario, 20%. And Mario Golf, 80% as well. We could definitely see that. That's not out of the question. Mario
yeah.
Party, same thing. But it would be nice to get all those games. But
Oh
moving
yeah.
on from Mario, you know how you
Hmm.
said 3D World is one of the last games they could port to the Switch from the Wii U?
Right.
Another game they can port is Pikmin 3. As much as I'd like a trilogy, Nintendo hasn't done that in the longest time. So I think they're going to
Hmm.
port Pikmin 3 to the Switch and also have an announcement of Pikmin 4, a formal one. We know it's been in development for the longest time. They haven't said anything, and if they're going to say something, they have to say it now because it's been 5 years since Miyamoto said it's almost done. I don't know about almost done, maybe compared to Pikmin 3's development hell, but
Are you implying a formal announcement, kind of like how they announced Metroid Prime 4,
yeah,
or are
that's
you
what I mean.
okay? Because I could see them just kind of have a CG trailer just announcing it. I would think it would be a 2021 release. I don't think it'll be coming out next year. Uh,
I would say it would
Me
come
and
out next year.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think it's a 2021 release. And for me personally. Um, but yeah, a Pikmin 3 port does seem likely. Would I like the whole trilogy? Of course, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Now, speaking of trilogies, do you think the Metroid Prime trilogy is coming to the Switch?
Uh, yeah, I think so. But I think they're going to coincide it with a new Metroid release. And what I mean by that is a new 2D Metroid game. Now,
I
there
doubt it.
was a, uh, well, there was some rumblings about a new studio. I think it was either Mercury Steam who worked on Samus Returns, or it was like a new studio, apparently working on Metroid 5. And there have been some rumors speculating that a Super Metroid remake is in development. So I think a 2D Metroid game may be coming, kind of like what Zelda did with filling the gap between big releases. Uh, and I think the Prime trilogy will either come out this holiday or early next year, early 2021. But for sure, I think we'll see some form of Metroid next year.
You think we're gonna get an update on Prime 4 or too early for that?
You know, I was I usually would say yes, but I've been hearing a lot of things about retro lately that's been making me kind of worried, not just of the development of Metroid Prime 4, but worried for that studio in general, that I don't think we'll see anything until maybe maybe E3 2021. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that game is ready at all. Retro's in a really bad place right now, from what I've been hearing. Um, I don't know, man. Retro. I don't know what's been going on, but it really it scares me because there's a lot of good people who work there.
Now, we don't know too much about what's going on with Retro, but unfortunately, I can't really predict much of 2020 other than these games because Nintendo's
Yeah.
been so inconsistent with their release schedules.
Right.
We went from 2017 having a pretty, or actually great year, then
Hmm.
2018 just having Smash Bros. Be the one game that they focused on, and everything else was just kind of crappy. And then
Right.
2019, where we had three games that I would consider to be really good. That's why I'm a little
Right.
bit concerned about 2020. I'm going to be honest here. If they continue this, I will not be happy because the Switch is going to be 3 years old. It's a full on game console now. And if they don't start
Yeah.
pushing out games, that'd be really bad.
I mean, I think they have been pushing out games. I think what's lacking is the consistency for their first party games being released. And yeah, it is a little concerning. I think definitely by 2020 they should pick things up rather quickly. If they don't, then yeah, it's going to be pretty concerning. Um, yeah, but I think Nintendo's going to be fine next year, especially with Animal Crossing coming out. Hopefully our predictions are right and there's even more games coming out. Um, but in terms of more predictions, I think you would want to take this one. You're not particularly happy about this prediction, but you know, has to be said.
Pokemon 2020 games, whether it's Ultra Sword or Ultra Shield or Diamond and Pearl remakes, I do have a
For
feeling we're getting some new Pokemon games this year or next year. I keep on
now,
saying this
if you
year,
had
but I know it's
if you
next
had
year.
to if you had to place a bet on whether or not it's a Diamond and Pearl remake or if it's just a deluxe version of Sword and Shield, what would you say it is? Because I feel like personally, Pokemon, if they were smart, they would want to get the fans back in with a remake.
I would say Ultra Sword or Ultra Shield.
Okay, that would be the dumb decision, but recently they've been making dumb decisions.
What if they did
So
this though? They added all the Pokemon back, and that's what makes
then,
it Ultra.
yeah, I could probably, yeah, you're probably right. I think that's probably what they're gonna do. But if that was the case, why didn't you just delay the game another year?
Oh, because of the trading card game and the anime.
That's stupid. I'm sorry, but yeah, I could kind of see that happening. Um, we get to the last prediction, I do just want to put this out there. Wario. I don't know whether or not we'll be getting a new WarioWare or a new Wario Land. There's been a rumor for a long time that Skip, who made the Chibi Robo games, have been developing a remake of Virtual Boy Wario Land. It's been consistent for at least, I want to say, 4 years now. And apparently it may release next year on the Switch. So I'm just keeping my ear out on that. I don't believe it first. I don't believe it right now, but take it with a grain of salt. What I kind of do believe more is a WarioWare, because to be fair, latest WarioWare, WarioWare Gold, blatantly hinted at a Switch release because one
It
of their
was
mini
just
games
a
was
mini game or a micro game. It didn't hint at anything.
it was a Switch. How does that not hint towards a Switch release?
There was also a Virtual Boy. Does that hint towards a Virtual Boy release?
Virtual Boy is dead.
It doesn't matter. That's just it's a dumb reason, but I can't really see a WarioWare coming out right now because they usually release either very early or very late in the lifespan of a console. But I'd be
I
more than
think
down for it.
I think it's possible. It's either that or the Virtual Boy Wario Land remake. Um,
Nintendo just missed a lot
I
of opportunity early on with the Switch, where if they released WarioWare for it instead of the 1-2 Switch crapfest, that'd be great.
One Two Switch when it was revealed and before they did the title, I thought that was a new WarioWare. And then it said One Two Switch. I was like, oh, that's not WarioWare? What?
They could have done so much with
uh,
the Joy-Cons like they did with WarioWare Smooth News on the Wii, but they didn't do that for some
yeah,
reason.
I don't know. I mean, look, I think I'm 50-50 on Wario coming next year. I'm hoping that he does because, to be honest, I kind of want a Wario game to come already. But yeah, that's what I have to say on that. And I guess last but not least, of course, Super Smash Brothers DLC. Now we're not going to talk about the travesty that was the Game Awards because,
Doritos Pope does it
that was
again.
enough. He does it again. He does again. Um, I didn't like how they kind of led people on that a Smash reveal would happen, and all they had were just vape ads and and a whole bunch of other nonsense, like the Fast and the Furious cast coming on board and being like, "Hey, Fast 9 looks awesome." What kind of video game fan cares about Fast and the Furious?
They must really like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I guess. But anyways, with that said, people are on the edge of their seat figuring out who the heck Fighter 5 is. and whether or not the next brand of characters will actually be a fighter pass. Now, I know you're not as um, into the Smash community as you once used to be, but do you have any wants for characters or any predictions as to who the fifth one can be and whether or not we'll get an extra five characters for the next pass?
Wants Waluigi, Crash, Spyro, Rayman, Dixie Kong, Funky Kong, and a few others. But who I
I
think
would
it's actually
love
going to be?
Crash and Spyro. Yeah.
Spike or Pink Gold Peach.
I hope not. I I honestly think it's going to be another weeb character. Uh,
Yeah, I do too.
um, you know how Sakurai is. Apparently, it's been rumored for the longest that it's Cosmos from Xenosaga. I don't know if I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I'm hoping it's someone else, but there's also a rumor saying that Fighter 5 and 6 will be revealed at the same time. We'll see. Personally, I think we're getting another five characters. I am hoping to God I get Crash or Crash and Spyro. Most likely it'll just be Crash, but in my dreams it's Crash and Spyro.
But yeah, I think we're definitely going to get Smash DLC next year. I mean, it's already been confirmed. But
Oh yeah,
here's
for
the thing
sure.
that hasn't the Switch Pro. Do you think it's going to happen next year?
Well, here's the thing. PS5 and Xbox Series X, which is a stupid name. Apparently the actual name is just Xbox, which Microsoft. Anyways, uh, I think it's possible that we'll see a Switch revision next year. I don't know when. If I had to put my bets on it, I would say probably September, so that it could compete with PS5 and Xbox Series X. Um, as for what specs it can have, I really have no idea. I'll be honest with you, I doubt they'll be able to do 4K.
Maybe an ability for 4K in docked mode, 1080p with the screen.
Yeah, it could be, but then what would the battery life be? Like an hour and a half?
Batteries are
You get
getting
what I
better
mean?
nowadays. I mean, your phone is going to
They
be 1080p,
they are. I mean, look, if
unless it's an
Nintendo,
iPhone.
here's the here's the thing. Um, Nintendo has to know that there's a fan base that are willing to pay extra money for an elite Switch console. What do I mean by that? Is that this has to be better than the original Switch. I don't care if I have to pay an extra $100. I will get it. Okay. That brings me to my next point. We need a Joy-Con revision. It's ridiculous at this point because Joy-Cons are infamous for drifting. They suck. I think they're one of the worst Nintendo controllers ever made.
These controllers are
I
suckish.
don't. I honestly, I've gone through two pairs already, and that's $80 each. I'm not gonna spend another $80 on Joy Cons until I see until I see like a replacement third party attachment. But they can easily fix this by coming out with a revision that fixes this. I mean, I don't know. What are your opinions on that? Because I've been hoping for at least a Joy-Con revision for the longest time.
I think the drift is unacceptable, the build quality is crap, and I do agree with you
Hmm.
there. We need a revision. But I haven't had any
Yeah,
problems with my Joy-Cons, but that doesn't mean that I don't think we should have a revision. Just because I've been fortunate not to have any of my Joy-Cons drift, doesn't mean the problem needs to be fixed.
yeah, it's a big issue. I can't even play in handheld mode anymore. Not comfortably. I'd have to put it on the kickstand and play with my Pro controller.
Try
Uh,
sending them in.
you
They'll
know,
repair them for free, regardless if they're in warranty.
I did that already, and like 2 days later, the Joy-Con started drifting again. So, even if you do send it into Nintendo, I still need some Joy-Cons that work. Maybe make it a little bit wider so that I could actually have a longer distance with the joystick. Maybe some more sponge buttons. I don't know. Something that's better than the originals, because it's getting ridiculous at this point. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. There's nothing to be sorry about.
Yeah.
But anyways, I
But
think that about wraps it up. Any last thoughts?
yeah, I I really hope we get some information dropped in January. You know, there's usually a direct early in the year. Um, Sometimes it's February, sometimes it's January. I'm hoping it's January. We get kind of a huge info dump
I
on
agree.
games that we don't know about. I'm expecting it too, because Nintendo kind of hasn't said anything since Pokemon, which is kind of concerning to me. So let's hope that they have a big direct in January and they reveal some stuff. And I honestly think that we're gonna have a better year than 2019. Not that 2019 was terrible.
It was just average.
I yeah. Uh, um. Oh, one last thing I did want to bring up. Breath of the Wild 2. Do you think it'll release this year, or do you think it'll release next year?
Next year for sure.
Okay, because there was some rumors that it might like launch with the Switch Pro, but I wasn't sure. Um, but yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything.
But anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Demich,
And I'm Ty the Guy at 2800.
and keep calm and Dada on.
And don't be suckers!